Welcome back. We spoke yesterday with the mayor of Windsor, Ontario, a very busy Canadian border town. Another one is Sarnia, Ontario. It's not immune to any degree from U.S. tariffs. The city has billions of dollars in goods passing through that border each year, with a highly developed chemical industry as one of its major sources of economic activity. Let's go now to Mike Bradley. He's the mayor of Sarnia, Ontario, and he joins us now. Mike, thanks a lot for joining us. How are people in Sarnia feeling right now?
Anxiety, fear. We don't know where this is going. And we are the energy hub for Eastern Canada. So we're tied in to the steel industry. We're tied in big time to Windsor and the auto sector. And just hearing the news this morning out of Windsor that the major Stellantis plant is going to close for 2 weeks because of the tariffs, and more closures are coming. That'll ripple throughout southwestern Ontario and through Canada. And I think, Paul, where it's really of concern, it's not what we have today that we're trying to protect. That's important. It's what we're not going to get in the future. If you're a multinational company in this area, southwestern Ontario, would you take the risk, tariffs coming in again, or some other penalty coming at your business if you locate here? Or go to the Gulf Coast? The Gulf Coast, or I guess Gulf of America now, has always been our competition. And now that is becoming a reality of possibly losing future investment to that region.
When people think of Sarnia, they think of the chemical and petrochemical industry. What are those industry leaders telling you?
They're being quiet right now. They're trying to assess what the damage is. Can't go into detail, but I know of one operation that may be shutting down in the near future. And that's not being alarmist. We're just dealing with the reality of what they're dealing with. And most of them are multinationals, and they're trying to walk that line. But at the same time, they're scared. The whole issue of energy. And we're also a transportation hub. We are now, Sarnia Point Edward, the Blue Water Bridge is located. We are now the #1 truck crossing into the U.S. from Canada. And we have daily lineups. My own assessment the last few weeks, it's companies trying to get their product across the bridge before there are any tariffs. And I'll be interested today to see what the lineup is like. So there's a lot of fear. Future investment is the big concern. And the damage is just being done right now to our psyche, to our ability to invest and function as a country. We're dysfunctional, not because of us being dysfunctional. We're dysfunctional because what we're getting from the U.S.
One of the big worries among Canadians, including Canadian political leaders like yourself, is that some companies may decide to physically pick up their operations and move them into the United States. Now, is that possible with a chemical or petrochemical company?
It is. It's more than possible. We're a capital-intensive business, but we're not a huge producer of direct jobs. We produce thousands of jobs, down the supply chain. So it's a reality. And I noticed with interest the other day that, I don't know all the reasons yet, but Nova just canceled a major project, a recycling plant here. And I had to presume it was going to bring in product from all over the place in North America. So, it's going to happen. We're seeing it. And the fact is, we don't see an end in sight. Even I pulled back on a couple of issues, waiting to see how the new prime minister performs if he's reelected and what he does with Trump. But right now, the uncertainty and the fear and the anxiety in the business community here is large.
What do you want to see from the government of Canada on this file that would specifically help people and businesses in your community?
For the whole country. We're not parochial. We're not like some people out in Alberta that are saying to the premier, don't touch us, but touch everyone else. We're not parochial. We want Canada to succeed. And after COVID, we were on our way back. We were roaring ahead. And then now we have this. So a strong national government that takes in the entire national view, don't isolate different provinces, and stand up for our industry. I believe, and I will praise the current Prime Minister and the Premier of Ontario, they've been strong, and that's what we need. Strong leadership. And that's what the public wants, right? They want stable, strong leadership. So that's all I want out of this election. And I will say this, which maybe sounds a little different, because most people want minority governments. They think it makes the country function better. In this case, and I'm not being partisan, whoever wins, I hope they win a majority. So they have the ability to govern and to speak to the Americans with one voice for the next 4 years.
Are you speaking to your counterparts in the United States, mayors in Michigan, across the border? And I asked that question because yesterday the mayor of Windsor said that he has done so on the auto sector, which is Windsor's big industry, of course, and many city mayors in auto producing sectors, auto producing areas of the United States are equally opposed to the tariffs on the auto sector, because as we know, it's a very intertwined system with a vehicle or parts moving across the border several times before a car rolls off the finish line. Your city and economy is very different. Are you talking to your counterparts in the United States? And if so, what are they saying?
I've been talking through a group called the Great Lakes and St. Lawrence Initiative. It's mayors from both sides of the border, and it's been in place for some time. It's more focused on the environment and the economic aspects of the Great Lakes. The reality is this: the American mayors are saying to us, oh, we don't like this. We don't like what it's doing to the relationship. But I haven't seen one stand up yet and say that publicly. And I understand the fear factor. One American mayor said, if I say anything publicly, they'll do what they've done to the universities in the U.S. They'll pull back our municipal funding, our infrastructure funding. So that's the fear factor they're dealing with. Every Thursday, with the Mayor of Windsor and a group of mayors from across the country, we have the Canadian Border Mayors Alliance. We're meeting this afternoon at 4 o'clock. We share information. And one of our ideas at the very beginning was to try to talk to our counterparts. That has been happening, but I'm saying the response back publicly is very muted.
What can you do in Sarnia, you and Sarnia City Council? What levers can you pull to assist people and companies in your community?
Well, a month ago, I brought a resolution to council that's passed successfully to look at a full Canadian buy program for the city of Sarnia. We don't buy a huge amount from the Americans, but it's a symbol of the local businesses and to others who want to bid on things in the city from the municipality. They can do that because we're going to focus on buying Canadian. And there are other steps being taken. I know some of them sound very small steps, but every step matters right now. We need to be all in as Canadians on standing up and pushing back. And there will be pain for us. And I'm hoping that Canadians will take the pain, because there's going to be pain for Americans, a lot of it. And maybe they want to get to the other side and they think it's worthwhile. In this case, we're going to go through some pain as Canadians. So just like we went through COVID, we stood together, the majority of us. I hope we'll do the same thing as it relates to what's ahead, because this is like the phony war back before World War II. Nothing's happening, a lot of probing and back and forth. But we're heading into now where the real actions are going to take place, and the pushback's going to take place, and the pushback on us. So it's going to be an extremely difficult year.
Mike Bradley, thank you very much for taking some time to speak to us today. Best wishes as you represent your city and its citizens in this difficult situation. Mike